we are here for all of the bonus episodes.
Let's go.
I know one thing about the bonus episodes, and I can't wait to see it.
I have no idea what's in store, honestly.
Like I
Same.
said, I know only one thing, and it's,
Yes.
that, and that's all I need to know.
Let's see. Mistakes. Okay.
7 days of spinning.
I guess we just go over all the stuff that
All
has
the
new
news.
on it.
Yes. Yes.
That's my assumption.
That is my assumption as well.
If we miss something, somebody's gonna comment it. And,
Yeah, someone's gonna get mad.
As long as I get to see Penguin Alice, that's all I need in life.
Alright.
Oh god, I have to be the one to...
Correct. I still don't need to narrate for a good few weeks, maybe. Depends on how fast we go through this.
Morning in the city. Morning in the city moved incredibly fast. It made one wonder if it was even a morning at all, with people so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Actually, let me turn down the settings, because I had it on really loud earlier, so I fixed it. Alright, we're good.
Alright, fair enough.
Oh, that is too quiet now. That is a car noise.
I thought that was coming from your microphone for a minute.
Nope, that was not me.
I was like, wait, is that the train again?
No.
I'm like,
It's too early for the train.
I'm like, that's an engine. I don't think trains need those.
You know what? That's very fair. I don't know.
Trains can use whatever they want to use.
Trains are weird like that. Anyways, ... noise.
True.
I don't know who this is.
Fair.
Granted, it looks like we are outside. Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like we're outside of his apartment, so it's probably Sojiro. The unfamiliar roar that awoke him reminded him of a rock slide. The identity of the monstrous sound was the engine of a motorcycle. Mr. Yoshida, his neighbor, was leaving for work. It was hard to determine when night ended and morning began here. Because all he did was work and then go to sleep for an hour and then get up and go to school and then work and then...
It'd be like that.
The town's urbanization was synonymous with insomnia.
God, I haven't done Sotro's voice in so long.
Come on, be Southern.
No, I got it. I know how it...
You can do this, I believe in you.
Already? Barely sun up yet. Where could Mr. Yoshida be going so early?
He sluggishly lifted himself off the floor. He caught himself starting to survey his surroundings out of habit before deciding better of it, and made his way to the washroom.
I got bedhead again.
There, he poured himself a cup of water and slowly gulped it down. Gulp, gulp.
Oh.
Gulp, gulp.
Having been relegated to well water until recently, he found the convenience pleasing. Pleased was definitely the word that best described how he felt. Civilization is about erasing inconvenience through optimization. The reduction of labor in our daily lives. Mr. Koga had taught him that while the essentials were easier than ever to get our hands on, life itself was growing more and more complex. So too was it. What? Fuck. Words.
You can do
So too was it his duty to adjust to his new reality.
It's just for a few more. It's just for a little bit more. Don't worry, and then it'll be my turn again.
Yeah, and then you get to be Shiki all over again.
Yeah.
And then I have to decide what voice I'm gonna give Ceil.
Yeah, we know. When this episode comes up, Ceil Route's gonna be out for like a good few weeks already.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, as soon as all of these chapters are done, people, the other chapters, the Ceil Route chapters, will be out as well. Like,
Probably.
Don't worry, we have it lined up.
Probably. That's B's problem. I'm just here to provide funny male voices.
I'm just here to talk shit.
That's fair.
So true. Until we get to Fate Stay Night, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get to Fate Stay Night, I'm reading a bunch of characters.
Yeah, then you're in charge of shit.
Yeah. As soon as I figure out how to get that fucking working. Anyone knows how to get that working, post in the comments below. Or just give me a gun. One of the two.
Preferably, you know, the former. I would love to still have him be around, you know.
It's kind of a thing, you know. As a distant relative of Sojiro's father, Mr. Koga had taken Sojiro in, even though the boy had been little more than a stranger in his life till that point. Oh? Mr. Koga had helped him get registered at school and find an apartment to lease. He really said, "Alright, you're not living in my house." Alright, here's how you sign things. Now get out of my house.
Get the fuck out.
Wonder what his handwriting is like.
Oh, it's probably atrocious. Start from square one, basically. Though he had insisted that Sojiro handle his residence card and register his change of dress by himself. This series of procedures, yes. This series of procedures proved exceedingly difficult for Sojiro, but knowing that this was a part of his new city life, he did his best to complete them diligently. While they may have a reputation for being a stickler for the rules, city officers aren't all that bad. It was the first thing Sojiro learned after beginning his life in the city. 2 weeks had elapsed since he left the countryside. As uneasy as living alone made him feel, he felt he could make it work. It was not as if the people here spoke another language, and Mr. Koga was absolutely right about how practical the rules of the city were.
Oh shoot, right. Fate Strange Fake is coming out on Sunday.
Oh, we get to watch it!
Oh, so you just saw the thing I sent you?
Yes, I did just see the thing you sent me. I don't know what time it's gonna come up, but like, it'll be out. Probably by the time I wake up, to be honest.
Sojiro continued down the hard but surprisingly walkable path. Before work, he jogged to the park to pass the time. Even exercise like this offered lessons for Sojiro to learn. Each passing person was a new face to look at. The old man who greeted him, the young worker with his eyes to the ground, and the girl on the bench, surrounded by birds.
On your left.
Fucking on your left. Don't you say, don't you say.
On your left.
God damn it. That's the vice president.
God damn it!
If they go, can you imagine? Don't you fucking say
Don't
it
you
on
say
your
it, don't you say it, don't you say it. On your left.
You know that if he was like, alright, let's go,
Let's go
jog
jogging.
together. Let's go jog together. Because, he's trying to be like, seem cool, and they go jogging and he realizes that Sojiro is a fucking menace to society. They were all unfamiliar sights to Sojiro. Unaccustomed to the city, he labored to understand its rules. I am really fucking excited, though, for when this turns into move.
Oh yeah, movie, yeah. I cannot wait for that to come out.
I keep forgetting they're doing that.
They released one trailer.
Yes.
Like last year.
And it wasn't even really a trailer, let's be honest with ourselves.
It was a teaser.
It was a teaser of a teaser. Whether they were complex or simple, or completely meaningless. Compared to mountain life, which only dealt with nature, city life left one with way too many options. You could argue that such an environment was toxic for Sojiro. His life was a string of unsettling moments. But amongst it all, there were rules that he sincerely admired. For one, that the city revolved around various forms of profit and loss.
No, Sojiro, don't become a capitalist.
No, don't touch the capitalism. No. The fact that one only needed money to get bare essentials to survive the city was a comforting thought to Sojiro. Why? What is comforting about it, my guy?
I mean, for the most part, Sojiro had to like kill for food, like that.
Oh, that is fair. All he has to do is work like 6 hours and he can get a meal. Like that does.
How is this guy?
Oh right.
Oh, this is
his
buddy.
coworker, right?
Yeah, this is
the
his
guy who
this character.
No, he's the guy who lent him the freaking crocodile documentary.
I've never seen this character before in my life.
You must have missed all those episodes then.
Yes.
To be fair, I missed the first 3 or 4 episodes.
No, he was in later episodes.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sojiro didn't know what a crocodile was, and so he gave him a freaking nature
to be
documentary.
Fair, I could also just not be remembering him.
That's a good chance that is it.
Very well. Anyways, hi Kenomi. Hey, not everything's that simple. Money is just a symbol. It's the other stuff that truly matters. Money ain't that different from those free shoulder Money ain't that different from those free shoulder massage coupons people hand out. And it's not like the food you buy with the 10,000 yen bill won't turn out bogus. Look, money can't buy you happiness, Maybe. Maybe? Are you for real? Man, I can't believe you right now. One day you're happy to break your back working a full day for a measly 4,000 yen. The next you're elbow deep in dirty dishes and saying, it's all about the money. What's your major malfunction? No, I think the current system is kind of amazing. To be honest, I never realized how limited bartering can be. Anyway, Konami, you're gonna drop that if you ain't careful. Ah, crap! Oh, damn. That was close. If I break any more, it'll be my head next. Yeah, thanks for the save. So, what did you want to talk to me about? It's money, isn't it? Exactly. Learned my lesson the hard way, but now I know it's better to have more money than less. That's why I'd like to work even more than I am now. You for real? You already wash dishes like a machine.
I mean, he would. I understand that. I like washing, like, I love hand washing dishes at work.
Bro turns on autopilot.
Literally. It's so nice. And also just just power washing with steaming hot burning water. Like stuff off of a plate.
True, it is very satisfying.
That's good shit, yeah.
Oh, Red Muffler Man replied to me on the freaking video. Mono Grimace came to me in a fever dream, he says.
Oh lord.
Seven, have I sent you that video?
What video?
Okay, well, I suppose that is no.
Yeah, I don't know what video. You might have, and I just don't remember.
Well, we'll send it to you after we're done.
Send it to you after we're done. Anyways.
Focus, we have to focus.
No, don't focus. Never focus.
And not just show how money can't buy you happiness. Love can, but... back right up. Why's the water so cold? Say, we should probably get paid more for washing dishes in the winter, huh?
Dojo will find love soon enough.
It's cold, alright, but nothing I can't handle. Mountain water's so cold it hurts. Yo, I didn't mean it was ice water, you doofus. That hard head of yours can be real annoying, you know that? Someone who couldn't even work at the cash register 4 days ago. You sure are comfortable working for the man. I guess money really is everything. The power of capitalism ain't nothing to mess with. No, so true, don't do it. Oi, shut your pie holes, part-timers! The door's right there if you want to quit. I don't have the cash to waste on deadbeats.
The complaints and chopsticks flew with them like a storm. This mess of a Chinese restaurant manager was a stubborn man who was willing to let minors work for him and didn't shy from violence, even if it was directed at the son of a lifelong friend. Sojiro felt that this is what Sparta must have been like. Damn. I really do be like that.
Oh my god.
This is Sparta!
Hey look, he's angry. We need to work harder. Wow, your nose get any browner yet? Me, I'm trying to make the most of my teens. Yeah, whatever. Right, been meaning to ask. Are you the type that likes to go out on late night strolls, or more of a bicycle kind of guy? Not that it really matters, but... It's always late when I go home after the restaurant, but that's not what you're asking, ain't it? I'm not really into walking when it's late out. Why ask? Reason? Like, you just moved here. Kinda weird question, but don't you think the town is dangerous? Not like people are bad or nothing.
Are there a lot of gas leaks in this town?
But I mean, you know that we get like 10 attacks like at a slasher like every year, right? And since they started, there's... What's a slasher? You don't know?
I have to go to a movie theater.
Okay, so it's like when a thief snatches someone's purse. Bad example. It's more like someone's killing to see if they can get away with it. Bunch of dead people in the woods near the suburbs. Real gnarly. That's why you shouldn't go out too late. The park in Misaki Hills is a hotspot for weird stuff. Haven't you heard about how they think the freak doing it is some chick with a sliced mouth? Nope. This is the first I've heard of a sliced mouth woman.
I do know that story though.
Yeah, I think it's a horror story in Japan, I think, right?
Yeah, because I think I don't know if it's there if they're gonna explain it, but the version I know at least is that there's a woman with a sliced smile, right?
Yeah.
And she asks you if you think that she's pretty, and if you say no, she cuts your mouth, and if you say yes, then she says that I'll make you like me and cuts your mouth.
Yeah,
So
it's what I know is like it starts. She has the mask on, then she asks the question. She takes the mask off, asks the question again, and then she either slices your mouth or just kills you.
Yeah, but to escape her, you have to like ask her questions and confuse her, and then like fucking get out of Dodge real quick.
What's the meaning of life?
It's like, is beauty all that matters? She asks you, is beauty all that matters? And you say, what else is there? You should write a book. How to offend a woman.
She asks you a question, and then you just ask her. You ask her to explain fate lore. I don't know.
Anyways, like I said, slasher film. She said. They say her mouth extends all the way to her ears. It's pretty old school kind of urban legend these days. How'd it go again? There's a woman in a coat who asks, "Am I beautiful in the dead of night?" Even if you say she is, she'll follow you home and kill you. Intense chicks like that are a no-no. It's like something you'd see in an American comic book. Oh, that sounds really scary. Does she actually follow you home? They say she crawls in through her window, squeezes her way in like a cockroach. Ah! I told you not to utter that word in this kitchen. I'm gonna kill you, you little turd.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Damn. You really do be like that.
I just want like that first part of it. Just ignore all the rest. The back of Konomi's head exploded. Oh no.
Not in pain.
Boom. Go boom.
Just boom. The back of Konomi's head exploded in pain with the impact of his boss's frying pan. Boom. Sojiro was reminded of just how dangerous this town could be.
It's just like the metal pipe sound effects.
Yeah, like all the crashing pipe sound effects, like.
God. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, right. I'd like to see him try. Kind of boss says that anyway? This is a restaurant, ain't it? Well, maybe calling it that is a bit too much. Is your head okay, Konomi? Huh? Ah, it's nothing. People tell me I'm real tough, especially my head.
That's not always a good thing, Konomi.
Anyway, avoid the dark, okay? You look like a sitting duck. Thanks. By the way, is 10 victims a year a lot? I don't know. It probably isn't a lot, but it totally ain't a few either. 10 people missing a year isn't great.
Yeah, that's a double digit, my guy.
like for one town?
Staggery.
The real scary shit is that they're still out there, somewhere, since they haven't been caught.
That's terrifying. Don't smile when you say that. He laughed cheerfully. Konomi was probably trying to take the edge off of his story, but the noble intention of his laugh was completely lost on Sojiro.
Of course it freaking is.
Of course it is. It's Sojiro. His friendly warning was equally futile. Sojiro was simply impressed that Konomi was able to laugh it off. On the way home, nobody ahead or behind, Sojiro proceeded through the dimly lit street when suddenly he turned to face an improbable sound. Something stabbed him in the head and fell to the ground. He frowned. A small bird had apparently flown into the telephone pole before landing on his head. The starling cleared itself off and flew away. Now this bird couldn't possibly be one of Alice's. Damn. The falling of the bird and its desperate escape thereafter was unlike anything he had experienced in his life up until now. Most of the townsfolk would have seen the incident as unlucky, ominous, or even sinister, but Sojiro just nodded and went about his business. Literally, it's the scene from WALL-E when the cockroach rolls around him and he just goes, huh. Also, the fact that there's no music is very ominous.
Absolutely.
You understand. Do I?
Do I?
What might have been a first for him was surely an everyday occurrence for these city folk. Oh, fine. It's volume 2 time. Falcon Punch. Oh, that's pretty. It's the house. I'm home. Alice, you here yet?
Where?
I got some stuff from the arcade while on the way home from church. There's Isia rice crackers. You want to share some? I did not say that correctly. I'm 100% sure, but it's fine.
Look, I just need to know.
Her voice reverberated through the foyer, dyed in the colors of the setting sun. It was after 5 in the afternoon when Alco, still in her school uniform, cheerfully returned home. She had finished her student council's duties and attended her monthly meeting with the church. I'm sure that went over so wonderful. Welcome back. I see that the meeting went well, as planned. The voice was coming from the second floor. In contrast with Alco and her boundless energy, a considerable calmer girl descended from above. There were some complaints, but all in all it went well. Our problems are ours alone, so I decided not to get them involved. You okay with that, Alice? Yes. I'd ask for their help in a pinch, but they can't be trusted. We'll call on them to clean up the mess, as usual. Agreed. No one likes to have to keep looking over their shoulder. We can't fully commit to this if we're worried about what's going on.
I accidentally.
It's okay.
Oops.
We're worried about what's going on elsewhere. It's okay, you're fine. Well, I can, but you don't have time for that, do you, Alco? Tap, tap. With the graceful sounds of her steps, Alice entered the foyer.
Don't worry about it.
What?
I missed the key. I mean the button.
The X button.
Keith, stop messing up.
Keith is doing his best. As she did, Alco's eyes were directed towards the skylight above. The glass is kind of dirty. I wanted to discuss that. After today's business is concluded, that is. Are you feeling okay, Alco? You can rest if you're not. Huh? Don't be such a nag. I'm not stressed or anything. Today was pretty normal. Do I look that tired? As school activities went, today's were a breeze. At a glance, her school life might have seemed almost idyllic. But then there was that boy.
Damn.
In the corner, like a shadowy fucking, oh god.
Dude is...
Lovecraftian shadow.
He's coming in.
He's the Lovecraftian shadow all shall fear.
Oh god, oh jeez, oh no.
I mean, I fear him.
But he's so cute, though.
Yeah, there's still a reason to fear him.
He's so cute. You know what I realized while I was cleaning out my room, though? I have an Alco wig. It's just, originally, it was a diva wig. From Overwatch.
Ah, I see.
Though the more she thought about it, the more headache-inducing incidents may have stood out here and there. And with some sincere introspection. Sincere introspection, Alco might have recognized the signs of her own mental fatigue, but doing so would have further added to her stress. Okay, enough about that. I didn't come home just to stress out over school. What were we learning about today? Memorizing basics, right? Wish? Then let's get started. I feel like I can master anything today.
Wish on the Holy Grail.
Wish on the Holy Night?
Wish on the Holy Night. Alco focused on shedding her anger and stress, and taking it out on something.
Someone, perhaps, and headed upstairs with gusto.
I will return momentarily. I need to go do something.
All right.
Okay, don't die.
So do we stop?
No.
I'm kidding.
I was gonna say no, don't worry about stopping because I'm gonna be a minute.
Okay.
I was like, I think we're fine. Aren't you coming? I thought we were going to do it in your room, Alice.
Don't phrase it like that. I hate myself, dude.
Nope, I was right there with you mentally. I tried so hard not to make it sound like it too. I was like, all right, let's.
Cut this bit out. No,
Absolutely not.
No.
How would I even cut it out, Keith? You said it like immediately after I finished the line.
Yo, I'm figuring out. No, this is going on the internet, man.
You're just making it worse.
Sucks.
Anyways. The formally dressed Alice nodded in dissatisfaction. Are we going to eat those Isea? Are we going to eat those Isea rice crackers today, or... That's a very good face, hold on. I have taken the face.
Good.
She looked at the freshly baked treats Alko was holding. In the end, their lesson took place after Alice had her cup of tea. For an apprentice like Alko, Alice Kuanji was the kind of roommate and teacher that was hard to come by. If she insisted that Alko rest to preserve her health, Alko had no choice but to comply. The lesson was over after 2 hours, so the two finished the dinner they had prepared and decided on a change of venue for where they would spend the last hours of the day. Oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
I like this song. The sunroom was next to the drawing room in the east wing of the residence and offered a view of the beautiful grounds. The proud Kuanji Estate's luxurious sunroom featured furnishings on par with those in the splendid drawing room. Meanwhile, the outside was hideous. It's going to be a jungle come next year's summer. The grounds outside had fallen into disrepair, neglected by the owner. Don't you have any landscaping polys or ploys laying around, Alice?
There we go. That's how we know it's a Witch on the Holy Night stream. Holy Night episode when Beanie mispronounces ploys again.
Listen.
It's just like before.
I'm trying my best. Alko took a step into the sunroom and poured some tea.
It's okay. It's okay, V. You're trying your best.
I'm trying so hard. I'm sure I could find one, but it would take some effort. And I don't have the effort for you. Playing along with her roommate's joke, Alice made to sit in her chair. Those are so cute. They look like chocolate Dragon Balls.
They do.
Just as she caught sight of the box of chocolates on the table, her lovely eyes narrowed in a frown. Don't be like that. Today's screw-up was half your fault, you know. Maybe the rice crackers threw us off our game, or maybe it was me being too aggressive that turned that wish into a Gonder. Still.
Isn't that a simple Nordic curse?
Yes, a very simple curse. I've sent Archer away. I don't need it. The Gundo shots in here are perfect for the likes of you.
God freaking damn it.
We're down 6 pieces.
There's 6 pieces of chocolate?
Yes. She's keeping track. We are? Wait, that's what you're upset about? Alco's eyes stared intently at the box of chocolates. I liked those chocolates, Alco. You could search the world and never find a finer selection of chocolates. This moment reminds me in Matilda, the original one, where she has that stupid fucking box of chocolates.
Oh, yeah.
There's someone in my house!
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1.
You know,
well, there's probably 6 missing after they'd started eating it.
Fair
I think
enough.
is what she means. There's 6 more missing.
Fair.
You know, I never thought about it.
Total
This
sense.
this sounds like Minecraft music.
It does. Kinda does. Anyways.
Crafting music.
Craft too.
The brand was Sixpence Songs. Apparently. So, what was it about the mirror you wanted to talk about? It's still in Misaki mode, isn't it? Not mansion mode? Yes. The mansion can take care of itself for the time being, so I changed its target to Misaki City. Things have been cloudy there since yesterday. Now I know for certain that with each passing day, the forces arrayed,
I think.
arrayed against us grow. She has an army of puppets. You mean there's more of those things? There's the one who was captured, and I've witnessed 2 other suspicious types. One in the city and one in the woods outside of town. Oh. Is it too much to ask that you could be wrong? Just this once. Which one is causing the biggest ruckus? The one in the woods. I'm getting close to capturing it, but it knows it's being watched. It's not taking the bait. I see. You want to go after it tonight? To go after it tonight. One simple suggestion that would change the course of her life forever. It was no overstatement to say that this was a roll of the dice that would decide whether she had the moxie to survive the experience of jumping out of a plane with a torn parachute. Algo swallowed her hesitation and fear with a little tea. On the school's anniversary night, she declared that she had made up her mind, and from that time on, she would not waver. Alice welcomed her roommate's strength with the barest hint of regret. As someone who shared the same motivations as her, Alice was ultimately reassured by Alco's resolve. Well, perhaps more pleased than reassured. All in all, it had taken the better part of a year, but finally Alco had stepped out of Alice's shadow. The 2 partners now shared the same fate. Alco was not the partner Alice had asked for, but a partner nonetheless. Strangers, worlds apart. And even if eventually they would battle each other to the death using all they had inherited, it was only right they did it on equal terms. It was, at least for now, a cause for celebration over how far Alco had come. Generous, but I'll be fine on my own tonight. The time would be better spent practicing mesmerizing a little more. The park is under your jurisdiction, so I'll put you to work where the time comes. Alice did not so much as look at Alco as she explained her reasons. The scale of the enemy she would face that night. Her plans for Alco. For in only 2 days from now, Alco Aozaki would be reborn. Fine, whatever you say. Alco finished her tea and stood up from her seat. I guess I'm practicing then. How did the first part go again? Be light and frail, nimble and fast. Tick-tock, tick-tock, there's no time to waste. That right? No, you're missing the quiet part. Remember, the weight of the air, the tremble of one's breast. Light lags behind while shadows pull ahead. Be careful, or you may find yourself in a state of unease. Yeah, I remember now. Now, if you'll excuse me. Alco grabbed a piece of chocolate and popped it into her mouth. She waved before leaving Alice alone in silence. Alice stiffled.
Stiffened?
Stiffened, yeah. There's no L on that. Alice stiffened a moment before slamming the box of chocolates shut, as if it could serve to scold Alco for snacking. Put another pipe sound effect there. Maybe that's what I'll do during the part you want me to cut out. I'll just put pipe noises.
Please. You know what? Yeah, sure. That's fine.
What part do you want me to
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Keith was being a little perverted. He was having a moment.
Don't worry about it.
Well, once the recording is done, you'll have to tell me what was said, because I was away for like 2 minutes.
What is this? Like I was watching this happen while we were talking. I'm like the entire time. I'm like, what in the world? Anyways,
that sounded like a man.
Screenshot this, by the way. Screenshot. This is a really good.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Time check. 00.
Oh, hello. Oh, hi.
Please.
24 hours since last update.
This is what happens when you don't update Windows in time.
Running backup. Transmitting log.
This is when you spend too much time away from Duolingo.
Commencing local scan.
Oops, shit.
Atmospheric analysis. Nitrogen. Nominal. Oxygen. Nominal. Argon. Nominal. Carbon dioxide. Nominal. Theoretical fifth element. Multiple anomalies detected.
What about the 6?
Local spies. Spice?
Spice.
Local space-time discrepancy detected. Conclusion. Contact. Class 1 threat. Shifting perception range from subjective to objective. Shifting autonomous circuit to reserve power. Shifting diagnostic circuit to main power. Shifting view mode. IR filter inactive. I filter active. Now, it begins.
Okay.
Initiating combat log. Oh, Master, preserve me from harm.
Alright. Sure.
I
Can you imagine if it cut off there?
Back to the menu. Don't worry, it's fine. You don't need to question any of that.
Misaki City was a thickly wooded area. Urban development continued unabated by Mother Nature, but Mother Nature still drew breath in its outskirts. Wise old trees had been turned to lumber. The leaves had begun to turn to mulch. Even though the birds who curiously tilted their heads had moved on, the verdure lived on, a testament to its enduring strength. Until the time came that devouring light of civilization became powerful enough to encroach upon nature's mysterious domain. These woods were no exception. The outlying border between Misaki City and Misaki Hills had been left untouched. Though driven from their nests and dens here, wildlife continued to subsist even today. No longer able to return to the days before man, this was just like any other forest situated next to a town. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. Winter had arrived in the woods. The chill cut like a razor. The icy air so thick it could reach one's bones.
Betcha it's a flashback.
Exposed
Probably.
cheeks stiffened, and wisps of breath formed swirls in the air before disappearing.
That person who the hey diddle diddle I think was like
It sounds
So
like
true.
Alice. I
Yeah,
think.
that sounded like Alice.
yeah. This is some form of flashback.
I didn't even read that.
Oh, what? No, it's fine. It was 1 degree above freezing.
It was 1 degree above freezing, the cold snap penetrating even every nook and cranny of the woods, from the ground to the trees to the wildlife. Over the moon, the little dark lad, and the dish ran away with the spoon. The forest allowed nobody entry during the day.
But it wasn't daytime.
During the winter, it willed the animals to slumber. The still evening air felt like the stagnant breath of the lingering dead. The forest consumed the moonlight, obscuring the sight of even the closest of principles, and hastening the untimely doom of any soul unfortunate enough to become lost within. The only noises to be heard were the whispers of the wind and the murmurings of the stream. The immortal darkness stifled any sense of life. Not the breath of an animal, much less that of a person, was drawn in this place. However, a figure in black, not of this place, skulked within. That's Alice.
Yes.
There she is.
She looks like small, kind of.
Like I said, it's probably a flashback.
It cast the tiniest, frailest of silhouettes, like a small boat lost in a sea of fog.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves in motion.
Oh my god. Its trepidatious footsteps echoed through the woods. I love how I can sometimes get big words like trepidatious correct, and then sometimes I fucking don't understand words.
I'm pretty sure when you said stifled, it was supposed to be stifled.
Exactly. Like that.
It'd be like that.
They really do. There, exiting the veil of trees, was the unmistakable likeness of a young girl. With a spoon. Someone's here, someone's here. There they are, there they are. Who can they be? Who can they be? Someone! Are you hungry? I'm starving. Which one should we eat? Let's eat them both. You take the left. You take the right. We must welcome them. We must entertain them. After all, we don't often have guests. While we're at it, the stomach and the tibia. It's not often we get to chew the fat. The shadows in the trees laughed ominously.
We love that.
Mm-hmm. A hallucination? An illusion? Or perhaps something real? The shadows frolicked in time to the girl's pace. Come, come! Deeper and deeper! Do you remember to rig the dice? Loaded innards they have? Nibbled around the edges they be. Just remember, don't roll that brittle sticks. The girl knitted her eyebrows. She heard voices and felt the presence of things that should not be. Scary enough to frighten this particular girl? As if. Her tightly pursed lips betrayed not a hint of fear. The girl walked on her own volition. She still had truly felt fear. If she had truly felt fear, her legs would be frozen. Deep within the trees, she was perfectly aware of the two humanoid figures stalking her through the still night air. I saw them! They're coming! Give up! There's no going back! We warn you! It's your fault for staying! The girl halted her steps. Racked from the accompanying voices died in turn. The babbling brook suddenly sounded like a crackling fire. And then, across the shallow stream, something appeared that should not exist in the city, much less these woods. Good evening. I don't suppose I could speak to your master? The girl addressed them calmly. These men with their Glasgow grins creeped towards her like two slugs. I see. Simple graveyard wards, sent to be lookouts. My mistake. I should have entrusted this to Aoko. However, the one grinning man stood still. The other, shaking violently as if unable to contain himself any longer, turned towards the girl. Aoko still has a lot on her plate. Although you, far from look the part, you seem to be on the level of a fully fledged mage. Her black outfit stirred. In her right hand she held a virtuous cat, darker than the deepest night. The two Glasgow men let out a yelp of caution and incoherent fear. It was at this moment that they knew they fucked up, and that they finally bared their intent and emotion. Farewell, my guests. Since this will take but a moment, I offer you only a goodbye. The two shuddered at her words. They had no mouths, nor ears or brains to begin with. For creatures like these, words were redundant. All that existed was the present. For these soulless creatures, fears and hopes were nothing more than an unimaginable future. Then, what could be this feeling of foreboding they felt? The spine-chilling miracle that would rip them to pieces, not moments from now. Come then, puppets. Let us play make-believe. Oh, fun. Her song sounded like a bell echoing through the white woods. The girl's voice vanquished the frost that had gripped the trees. Then, oh. Come on, don't keep us waiting.
Does that say dumb?
I think so. That or it says Dom.
So are these Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
You know what?
That would make sense.
That actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I fucking hate earbuds because they hurt my ears after a short period of time.
Well, then you might need to go and get some new ones.
Well, no, that's just how I am with earbuds. I don't typically use these things unless my headphones have to charge.
That's fair.
That is fair. Anyways.
Come on, it's time for Little Red Riding Hood.
The curtains opened on Diddle Diddle, the banquet of the night. Diddle Diddle, I'm stupid. Diddle Diddle, the banquet of the night. In conclusion, one split-mouthed man swooped towards the girl. In fear, the other fled into the woods behind him. The deformed humanoid darted forth, kicking up water as it rushed the girl. She already knew what this fiend was. The grinning figure had scissors with hands and a demon's heart. He was a wretch who kidnapped children, mercilessly rendering them into pieces.
Huh. This is what Konomi was talking about, I guess.
You know what? Yeah, probably.
I guess so.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
They are Tweedles!
Tweedle, leave it to us. It's finally our turn.
Look at them go. Look at them go. The piglets bounded and rebounded like paddle balls. The stuffed animals, over 3 feet in length, jumped and weaved their way between the trees. Oh. Even with these strange creatures before him, the grinning man did not so much as blink. He raised his arms, but what emerged from his coat sleeves were not the human appendages you would expect. In their place, fiendish cleavers, more than 1.5 feet in length. These appendages, which had torn so much of their prey to pieces, sliced clearly through the flying pig's skull. Huh? His limbs froze in place. The pigs' bodies were sliced perfectly in half. And then, dissected from head to tail, the pig's innards became an alligator's jaw and clamped down upon the grinning man's arm. From fingertips to shoulders, they were swallowed whole. It was all it took to rob the man of control over his entire body. Oh my god, their smile has the eyeball in it. Another shiver of fear. These were no mere pig familiars. Nay, nay. Immediately, he realized that these were stapler monsters, disguised as mere pigs.
I got him. No, I got him. Oh, but too bad. Master has no words, no emotions, no interest. In the end, it doesn't really matter who did it.
Broken down, broken down.
There's a river.
There is a river.
They did mention that.
They did. They did, in fact. I'm actually so glad that we're doing this after we finished the whole game. Because I think if we had watched London Bridge come out now versus when we did in that later fight,
yeah,
I don't think it would have hit as much, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
the Thames troll was so good.
Yes, truly. You want to say the word impossible real quick?
Sure. Impossible.
Its presence murmured 3 times. Not possible, not possible, not possible. Talking pigs were one thing. Even having one's arms chopped off was in the realm of
Occupational hazard?
Yeah, of occupational hazard. In an instant, the wood was enveloped in a dense wave of magical energy, though vexing it was, still impressive. None of these facts were particularly extraordinary. These rare familiars, their bizarre attacks, the sheer innate magical energy to overwhelm others. He had experienced with all these things. His employer was skilled enough to achieve all of this as well. However, what now? What now? How long should we hold him like this?
Even a blink of an eye is too long. Let's take an arm.
I'll give you a good price if you'll pay me in pounds. What were they? Not vessels. Not living creatures. Not beings powered by magic circuits. Even though only his arms were being bitten, none of his body would move. It was nothing like being bound or weakened. This felt more like he had become words written in a book, fated to keep to the page. As the grinning figure's deformities indicated, he had overcome numerous curiosities and monstrosities. Illusions, enthrallment, compulsions, freezings,
Putrefacients?
Putrefacients? Okay.
Sure.
Putrefacients, and even petrifications. A power granted to only the pinnacle of mystic eyes.
What about it?
From poisons to magecraft, he had weathered a great deal. But this was something different altogether. Oh, that's a cool shot.
Holy
oh my God,
cow.
Wait, it's a book! It's a pop-up book!
Yo!
Is it nursery rhyme?
The penalty that bound him now was based on different principles from blood, flesh, oxygen, or heat. It was an unknown restraint that followed no rules he knew. Indeed, though it was terrifying to admit. It was as if he'd encountered something alien to everything in this world. Just falling down, broken down, London Bridge is broken down, my fair lady. Fangs sank into his left and right shoulders. For the first time in this form, he felt rage seething up inside him. The basis of all things had to be absolute. All mystics, all things bizarre, obeyed some set of laws. But there is a noble phantasm called Rule Breaker, but that's not this game. That's a different game. But these pigs ignored this, along with his dignity.
After 3 days, you weaken. After 6, you drown.
After half a year, you'll be a wretched skeleton.
Sorry to be rude, but we're just gonna kill you now.
Don't hurt your throat. Hell. Though he had no voice, he let out an exasperated scream.
Huh? Huh? What a convenient function to be able to detach your arms. What an unparalleled warrior.
The talkative pigs fell into the stream. The exasperated scream was the sound of the figure tearing his arms from their sockets. Armless, he rushed to the girl. Useless swine. I'll see you be punished later. He may have lost his mangled arms, but not the object of his malice. A mystic eye to pierce the heart of its victim. A magic circuit designed to stop a beating heart. It was beautiful in its simplicity. At point-blank range, it was the equivalent of an unavoidable shotgun blast. Oh? But tragically, that eye was all he had. There's the bridge. Wood and clay, build it up with wood and clay, my fair lady.
Yeah.
He failed to realize that her song had changed. Oh. For the giant, the earth-shattering strike was akin to the act of shooing away an insect. Its green, verdant vines pulsed. Oaken bark covered its body, hardened sufficiently over centuries of to repel even a chainsaw. Can you imagine a fight between this and fucking Chainsaw Man? On its forehead, inscribed in all manner of colors, were the words Emeth. Though, judging from its misspelling, the inscription was purely decorative. The Thamus Troll. It also went by the moniker Falling Down. Or alternatively, the Great Bridge. Admired in different forms, it was the first of 4 miracles. Themis, please take care of the other one. The giant responded to the girl's words. With roots rent deep into the earth, it raised its left arm to the heavens without moving a step. Elsewhere, in the forest, the grinning figure who had chosen to flee the battle was running through the night forest at full speed. Hello, Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Record and provide a detailed description of the enemy. Those were the orders assigned to him. He poured all of his energy into escaping this forest with which he had become so familiar. In case of an emergency, the plan was for one to challenge the enemy while the other made a tactical retreat in order to report to their master. He dashed through the forest. Though gripped by fear, he was confident in his ability to perform the mission he was designed for. Nothing could catch him in these woods. Even the wolves could not track him. His bird-like legs thumped as they kicked the ground. Perhaps it was his creator's eccentric taste that dictated their form when optimizing for running. The grinning man could reach a maximum speed of 45 miles per hour. Well past the limit of any bipedal creature. But the Great Bridge was no bipedal creature. After securing a distance of several miles, he turned around to confirm his safety. Why would you fucking do that? You never stop running until you get to, like, proper safety.
That's a mage.
Truly. There was no sign of pursuit. His crescent-shaped mouth, nay, eye, slackened in relief. And then...
Eh?
After facing forward once more, he looked up to lock eyes with his doom.
The arm was simply long enough that he could... Dang.
Down, broken down. In the distance, he could hear the dark rhymes of Mother Goose. Countless vines extended from the ground. They formed into a monstrosity that conjured up images of an arched bridge, something resembling a giant arm. Down, broken lady. Shatter that eyeball.
Final report. Survival unable to complete. Analysis unable to complete. Transmission unable to complete. Ending session. Master, preserve me from...
Fun.
Makes sense.
I think we're about done here. Well done, Demas. You can return now. Hopefully our next encounter will be more worth our time. By the way, I was thinking about it, and I think we should do a ranked system on all of the spells and stuff. Kind of like we did with the bread.
for all of Alice's ploys? Or like...
No, for everything.
Oh, all right.
All of her ploys, all of the spells, the mystic eyes, everything that shows up in this fucking game. I think we should rank it because I just think that would be fun.
Sure.
Will I have to put that together myself? Yes. Will I actually do that? Probably.
No.
Maybe. No,
No.
I probably will. I did it for the. Listen. I did it for the bread. I'll do it for this. I have the time.
Yeah, to be fair, you're not me.
That's
you
fair.
don't slack off on everything you need to do.
I'm just letting you know I literally could do it tomorrow because I don't have to be anywhere until 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, unlike me, you don't spend all day slacking off, even though you have stuff you need to do. You just don't do it.
Fair. The girl turned on her heel. The invaders who had set up shop in the woods were eliminated. She had no interest in whether they had been good or evil, nor how many victims they had claimed. The shackles of civil society held no sway over her. This was the way of a pure-blooded witch, the way of a Meister.
The way of a pure-blooded witch on a holy night.
Hey, what about us? What about us?
Help me get this arm out of my teeth.
We really should move while we're eating.
Don't tell us you don't need pigs that can't fly.
We'll do a better job next time. Though we're nothing but scrubs.
Yeah, you owe us at least one compliment before the end. Just one.
The girl let out a sigh and stepped into the stream. She removed her gloves and dipped her slender fingers into the ice water. Still fucking talking about her slender-ass fingers. I told you not to roll sixes. But I suppose it is the only number you can roll.
Why'd you tell them not to do it?
There was no response to her melancholy tone. In place of the one boisterous pigs were 2 black dice, now sitting in the palm of her hand. As the girl was about to say something to the scattered remains around her, she realized something that made her put a hand to her mouth. The farewell is over. Should I have asked them if they had any last words? Her slender, pale fingers traced her lips, as if reluctant to part from them. Sighing again, she calmly left the dark woods the same way she had entered.
Neat.
7 days of spinning, the final part.
Spin, spin, spin.
Let us rewind to a moment in the recent past, shall we? The scene took place on a Saturday morning in early December. With third period over just before lunch, the only activity that remained before the scholastic day ended was homeroom. 2 of Class C's students, Sojiro Suzuki and Hosuke. I almost said Hosuku, and I'm like, that is not what that says.
Hosuku.
And Hosuke. Fuck, now you.
Oh.
Stop making mistakes.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just don't. No.
And Hosuke Kinomi were standing outside in the balcony overlooking the schoolyard. This doesn't look like a balcony, but okay, sure. They were stuck waiting for their homeroom teacher, Mr. Kazuki Yamashiro, and could not leave until he arrived.
Shiro?
No. Not our Shiro. The
How
rest
could
of
you?
their classmates were chatting idly in the classroom, though you can't tell me that Shiro wouldn't become a teacher if he wasn't a mage.
Sure would.
What do you think he would teach? Probably chemistry.
He teach swords.
Real. So true.
Well, yes, he'd probably be like a kendo instructor, but like, I think like if he actually taught at school, oh my god,
No,
he
no,
would...
no,
no,
he
no, no,
teach
no, no,
just
no, no, no,
swords.
no, okay. Teacher AU, Shiro, okay? This is my idea, okay? You ready? Ready for this? He teaches, like, chemistry, some kind of science, right? Where you learn about the different components of how things are made up, right? But then, alright, he is the teacher that overlooks the archery clubs.
True.
Because every club needs a teacher. And he is the archery club's teacher.
Teach me.
And then
Amiya
if
sensei?
Reen were a teacher, which she wouldn't be, but if we're going like the full mile, Reen would just be the principal.
Reen as a teacher is the scariest thought imaginable. There is a Reen that is a teacher, but not spelled the same.
Anyways.
We'll see that when we eventually.
Class A's Tobimaru Tsukiji was killing time alongside them. Look at them, the little three dumb idiots. The listless trio discussed their weekend plans as they leaned on the veranda's railing. There he goes, across the veranda.
You working at the bear this weekend, Kinomi? Yeah, like hell I am. Who the hell works till Sunday? I'm going out tomorrow with some chicks from Class B. At least that was the plan. They said they're grounded or something.
They'll sneak out, sure.
So, in other words, you failed again. Ah, jeez! Can't command when he's down much, Suzuki? Oh, please. Even the most airheaded chicks know better than to accept an invite from your dumbass. Crash and burn all you like, but don't drag Sonochi into the fallout, will you? Excuse me, princess. Well, excuse me, your majesty. You're one to talk. Word to the wise, Suzuki. Tsukiji's heart is as black as they come. In his mind, he's like, you know those labels that you use to separate the trash? This dude uses them to label people. You're either useful to him, or you ain't. Yeah, I figured that out. Speaking of which, I know this is out of the blue, but what do you think about Konomi's, Tobimaru? Well, you know how the country's going to stop collecting oversized scrap for free soon, since it costs too much to dispose of. That's because of people like him.
Is Tobimaru like a trash expert?
Well, he was put in charge of cleaning up the other school, so maybe.
You could say he's the trash man.
And what kind of nonsense is that? Who throws out big stuff like cabinets when you can make good money off of them? You're not helping your case.
I don't think he's trying to.
That just...
Pictures grab and go, you know? Just look how rad those disposable cameras you can buy at the convenience stores are. What do they call it? Something about growing consumption culture and all that. I'm just... So, Konomi is working this weekend. Now, what about you, Tobimaru? Hey, my time is coming. Just watch.
I would not touch him with a 5,000-foot pole.
There's some business to attend to on my end. I'll be entertaining a guest of my father's, giving a tour of the city, stuff like that. Friggin' rude! Don't interrupt a guy when he's talking. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna be watching my kid's sister. They ain't helping out at that crappy Chinese restaurant. What about you, Sonoji? You working tomorrow? Nah, no plans. But I am gonna work at the amusement park after school today. What? Magic Kitsyland? Seriously? Ah, you're tougher than you look, Suzuki. I heard even the judo guys who work there bailed. It couldn't possibly be worse than carrying boxes for X-Fed, right? X-Fed? Are you serious?
I hate it.
X-Fed?
I hate it.
It's so blatant.
It's great. It's great. And it still makes an arrow with the first two letters.
It does. Oh my god, it still makes an arrow true. Oh my god.
That's all that matters.
Well, okay, not that bad. Damn, that evil Yamashiro is taking his sweet time. Look, Class B is already leaving. Looks like it. You know, I didn't want to pull this card, but we'll just have to call him. Can't let Sonoji be late for work.
And as if by design, the moment Tobimaru Tsukuji stood up wearily from the balcony railing, the school's PA system chime rang. Sojiro Suzuki, Class 2C, please report immediately to Mr. Yamashiro in the faculty room. I repeat, Sojiro Suzuki, Class 2C. An awkward silence fell upon the three. After a long 5 seconds, Sojiro said goodbye and headed back inside.
Yeah, nothing interesting ever happens here. Can't someone make a crop circle in the schoolyard or something?
Kinomi grumbled, slouching his shoulders and scrunching and succumbing to his lethargy. If you're gonna make a crop circle, you should make it in the shape of a spider.
Oh, stop expecting others to make life interesting. If you're bored, then make something happen yourself. John's always argue to an interclass debate or something. That will not end well.
I think he wanted something interesting, not death.
Suffering ain't interesting. Grabbing what the press is asking for it. I said it interesting, not terrifying. As a decent, upstanding, red-blooded male, I'd happily settle for a hot transfer student showing up.
Shut up.
Yeah, as long as she isn't boring anyway. Maybe if she were a Hollywood producer or some famous English singer or... Oh, lame. If you're going that far, at least make her a babe from Mars.
Attention, Class 2C. This is an announcement from Mr. Yamashiro. Go the fuck home. Thank you.
Tobimaru Tsukichi is a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife.
I'd like to make an announcement. Fucking Sonoji from Class 2C is a motherfucker. He pissed on my wife.
Christ.
Mr. Yamashiro is currently occupied and is unable to attend homeroom. Please make your way home. This concludes all announcements for the day.
That dude dead.
The hell? Ever since Yamashiro bought that new car, he's been a real punk. Find out what this dime sounds like when we're scraping up the new Serbia. Hold it, hotshot. Just put gum in the keyhole. Teachers get paid peanuts, man.
Yeah.
He's not wrong about that.
The two frenemies.
He wasn't wrong about that in 1989, and he's still not wrong about that.
Not now. The two frenemies returned to the classroom, complaining all the while. Their concern for their mutual friends summoned to the faculty office, completely out of mind. I don't agree. The school allows for students to hold part-time jobs. According to school regulations, a job at a workplace authorized by the school is recommended as a social experiment.
That's true. But in this case, it's a matter of going too far. What if, let's suppose, they were working somewhere without permission, somewhere that might be violating the labor standards law? That would spell trouble for both the school and for him.
The volatile tension between the ruthless student council president and the easygoing modern language teacher permeated the room. Praying to be spared from the impending confrontation, the other teachers hurriedly relocated to the meeting room.
They fucked off.
By the time Mr. Yamashiro noticed this, the only other person in the room was the student president, Aoko Awasaki.
They all ran, huh? Why does everyone always push the scary jobs on me? They're so mean.
Don't change the subject, sir. If we do suppose that he's working at an unauthorized workplace, doesn't that mean that the school isn't accommodating his needs? I'm not saying that the school needs to cover his room and board, but as long as he's not working too much, his request deserves due consideration. And if you're still concerned about unauthorized workplaces, please first revise the rule that limits each student to only one. After hearing her out and realizing there was no way she would back down, Mr. Yamashiro hung his head. This was supposed to be easy, but it never is. The plan was to call in the student rumor to be working multiple jobs, confirm whether the rumor was true, and if so, give him a warning and some guidance, then head to lunch with the knowledge that all was right with the world. The student council president, who was coincidentally in the faculty room at the time, had heard the entire issue and decided to call out this injustice. As far as Mr. Yamashiro was concerned, she was in the right, and he was well aware of the aforementioned student's situation. Personally, he would have liked help, but among the faculty, he was just the new kid on the block. He wanted to stay on the vice principal's good side, and at the very least, not lose his job as badly paid as it was.
Look, this is a warning straight from the vice principal. I can't do anything more to help.
What if we compromised?
What do you mean?
The student council president removed a document from her bag. She was ready.
Damn.
It was a document that had been brought up in the morning's faculty meeting, bringing a host of headaches with it.
Miss Awasaki, that's not the... Oh, there we go.
Yes, this is the Aided Church's volunteer registration form. There were 0 applicants again this month, a fact that would certainly bother a devout Christian like the vice principal. Even this morning, he was lamenting our students' lack of faith.
I can't deny that. But what I'd really like to know is how you became so well informed of the content of this morning's faculty meeting.
Be afraid.
Mr.
hear
Yamashiro
her.
scratched his head, but his eyes were smiling gleefully. He had figured out the student council president's objective.
So, I'll scratch your back and you'll scratch mine. Is that it? Work conducted on the church's behalf is done on a voluntary basis, but still compensated in some form, and it's officially recognized by the school as a form of social study. Vice Principal will be overjoyed to have a participant, and
in the event that said volunteer is already employed somewhere else, the school's permission will be extended to both. Considering the president, president?
think so.
Yeah, I find this to be a good compromise. And I know I'm right because I'm right.
No, I'm right because I'm Alko Azaki, bitch.
And I know I'm right because I'm right, and if you try to say that I'm wrong, I will take your throat. Anyways, Mr. Yamashiro raised his hands in surrender. There were few students able to both raise a complaint and propose a proper solution. Perhaps it was her big sisterly disposition that made this girl so simultaneously feared yet trusted.
No, I think she's just feared.
Yeah.
Alright, let's try it your way. Just say a prayer for me, okay?
I'm not religious, so I won't be doing that. I don't like it when people are overly reliant on others. If you're going to participate in this scheme, please take your part seriously, Mr. Yamashiro. With a bow, the student council president turned to leave the faculty room.
Ah, wait a second. You're not going anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and call in Suzuki now, so I'll need you to stay and look after him properly.
You what? What? The girl's cool eyes narrowed. Unable to process what she just heard, her expression turned to a scowl.
If we're looking for volunteers, 2 is better than 1, right? Plus, knowing that you are following up on this would give me a great peace of mind.
But, sir, I don't...
Hello, broadcasting room. Please put out an announcement calling for Class 2C student Sojiro Suzuki to report to Mr. Yamashiro in the staff room immediately.
No, sir, like I was about to say,
Oh, this is perfect. And to think that the source of my headache could go away too. Today is my lucky day. Miss Aozaki, what would I do without your kindness? Oh, wait a second. He's not your type, is he? Oh, broadcasting room, please add the following. The student council president is eagerly awaiting...
Mr. Yamashiro! That man is going to the hospital. The next day, a pleasant Sunday. Sojiro was awake 2 hours before the time he was supposed to meet her. After getting up, he decided to go for a leisurely jog to clear his mind, but lost among his own thoughts, his 30-minute jog turned into an almost hour upon realizing he rushed home. After thoroughly racking his brain over what to wear for the occasion, he decided upon wearing his school uniform. 10 o'clock, Misaki Central Park, East Entrance. I'll meet you there. Yesterday in the faculty room, when Alko Aozaki had shared the time and place with him that day, she said it was such a pain. She said it was such a pain on her face. Maybe she was fighting a headache at the time.
I wonder if Haozaki is feeling better.
God, he's so cute. Sojiro muttered, his words of concern misguided as they were. In any case, he waited for about 5 minutes. At precisely 10 o'clock, the student council president appeared. Good morning. Punctual as usual, I see.
Oh.
What's wrong with your face? You sick?
No. I think I feel fine.
He waved off her concern.
You're wearing your school uniform.
Of course I'm wearing my uniform. This is a school activity, isn't it?
Huh.
A heavy weight of despondency fell upon Sojiro's shoulders. The angsting over his outfit from the previous 2 hours had been rendered meaningless, just like that. The duo, clad in their school uniforms on a day off, walked by the train station. In the beginning, Aoko had made efforts to give Sojiro a thorough lay of the land, but today she only shared the bare minimum of explanations. This was partially because, surprisingly, Sojiro had become well accustomed to the town. Which restaurants were good, which shortcuts to use in a rush. And when the nearby bicycle shop was better than a department store, and why the nearby bicycle shop was better than the department store by the station if you wanted to buy a bicycle, things a local would know. The other reason was because it had dawned on Aoko how the two of them conversing might look to passerbys. She can't have people thinking that they're dating. Or heaven forbid, friends.
On a different topic, you mind telling me what kind of work we'll be doing today?
From here on, volunteering at the church meant the school would tolerate his multiple jobs. Sojiro had quickly agreed to the tempting offer, nodding like a bobblehead, but as was typical for him, he had failed to consider the content of the proposal. Somehow I just knew you would have no idea what's going on today. Is this your first time going to Ada Church?
This is my second time. Last time was because I was outside admiring the strange architecture. Then a person inside gave me some free candy.
He pondered with a sincerity how exactly a church worked. His contemplative posture made him appear the part of the philosopher, but after all his thinking, he concluded...
I guess they started taking your money on the second visit? What?
Well, okay, that's technically not wrong.
I guess.
You can give them money. Such was the extent of Sojiro's concerns. Normally, the church only gives candy out to children, you know. Ako sighed at the lost little lamb. So, who did you end up meeting? The priest? One of the sisters?
A very beautiful woman, as it happens.
Oh, Sister Yukata. Or Yuika, then,
If you see her today, you'll need to thank her. Or, then again, no need. You're doing just fine in that department anyway.
Eh?
As far as work goes, it's not much different from what you've been doing at school, so it should be straightforward. And considering the church's size, there's actually not a lot of people. Alko picked up her pace as they headed for the church. Somehow, she seemed like a general invading enemy territory. It made Sojiro furrow his brow in discomfort. It's because she's a mage and she does magic and they hate the church. Ada Church had a long history. Far from the station, it was a white-painted sanctuary nestled between the business and the residential districts. As far as Alko could remember, the church as she knew it now was the result of remodeling down 8 years prior. It was practically a cathedral for the town of this size. Incidentally, located next to it was the Misaki General Hospital. From Alko's perspective, it seemed awfully suspicious for the church to take up residency next to the location in the city where the most lives were lost, though the only two who were aware of this opinion were her roommate, Alice Kuwanji, and the priest.
Are you a regular at this place?
Me? Not in the slightest. My father and grandfather had a long history with it, but if I could, I'd go back in time and cut off all ties with this place.
I mean,
I had to come here every day in elementary school to help out, and boy, did that ever rub me the wrong way. The more Alko spoke, the more twisted her expression became. Recalling this made her want to grab it by the proverbial collar, give it a proverbial one-arm judo back throw, smashing its proverbial head into the proverbial ground and kick the proverbial living daylights out of its defenseless proverbial torso.
proverbially.
Yes, only proverbially.
Of course. Proverbially.
In this, proverbial idea.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbial.
Of course, of course. Such was her so-called trauma, that if it were anthropomorphized, it would take more than a 5-round beating to satisfy her thirst of vengeance. That's a lot of bloodthirst. That's a lot of bloodthirst.
Damn.
You can't even fucking fight back.
Alko is angry. She needs some chalky milk.
It was at this moment he knew he shouldn't be here. No. It was in this moment, as he became aware of Alko's mood, that Sojiro began to fear for his safety.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
At this moment he knew he was not safe.
I'm not safe here. Please, somebody help.
I need an adultier adult.
I need an adult. I am an adult.
I need an adultier adult. Perhaps attracted by the noisy murder of crows outside the church, a woman in a nun's habit emerged from the front entrance.
Murder, you say?
Yeah, that's what a group of crows are called.
Yes, I know. I'm making a joke about murder. About Alko murdering people.
Just a bit of murder.
Just a little bit.
It's okay. I'm
She's
a
the blind
professional.
one. She's blind, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, think so.
Excuse me. Do you have business with the church today?
No, it's just standing out here for fun.
I'm afraid this church does not associate with criminals, so if you would be so kind to consider coming another day, or perhaps returning once you have repented for all of your sinful ways and paid for your crimes to society, you can... It's Ako Aozaki, Sister Yukita. I keep adding a T. It's just Yuka. It's just Yuika.
Good job.
Well, if it isn't Alco. What a lovely surprise. It's been such a long time since you've visited. Suppose it has. I'm only ever called at night to speak with the father. Suppose it's been, what, close to a year since we had a face-to-face conversation? And who knows how long it'll be until the next time. Yes, I'm almost sad to see you grow up so fast. Your presence has been so menacing. You hardly resemble the virtuous girl I remember so well. Just his face, wait, no! Oh my god.
There is not a single thought in that head.
I love him. I love him so much.
That head is just... This is the noise. It's just... That's all you hear.
Absolutely void.
He's such a good boy.
Absolutely just devoid of coherent thought.
He's just there like, I wonder if I left the stove on.
Oh wait, I don't have a stove. Wait, do I have a stove? I didn't have a stove in the mountains. Did I get a stove when I was here? I have a mini fridge.
I wonder what a crocodile is.
What's a crocodile?
That thing about the masked lady again?
On the surface, the two exchanged congenial greetings. Unable to read between the lines, all Sojiro could see were two good friends.
Oh my god.
He and I are this month's volunteers. For the beloved Ada Church, it will be our pleasure to be working for exactly 10 to 30 and not a minute more. Well, as you know, we are reaching the end times, but your spirit of service is welcome.
As you know, we are reaching the end time.
Fate Grand Order? Question mark?
The house of the Lord is open to all who might enter, even those with wickedness in their hearts.
Oh my god.
The nun flashed a smile that was equal parts elegant and cruel. Keeping up appearances aside, she seemed overjoyed to have able hands to put to work.
I'm adjusting my headphones on my head, hang on.
It's okay, I'm stretching.
Fucking gear. I mean, my headphones are probably not charged.
Okay.
The sister introduced herself as Yuika Suse and thanked Sojiro, who had volunteered of his own volition. Sojiro noticed that her eyes were always shut, but not wanting to be rude, especially in front of Aoko, he decided not to pry.
Oh, wait, isn't this the blind woman?
That's what I said, yeah, I think it's the blind one.
Yeah.
So you're Mr. Suzuki. Your name is as calm as your countenance.
It is? Well, thanks.
The sister let slip a frown at Sojiro's ambivalent response to her compliment.
I apologize. I did not mean to cause discomfort by using your surname. May I call you Sojiro instead?
Oh, whichever. Either one is fine.
Well then, as you wish. I had not appreciated how difficult a subject it would be. Though the sister's tone was gentle, her words seemed somewhat indifferent. She lacked sight, but she guided the two with certainty in her step, so she is the blind one. Well then, as for what you will be doing... I already know Christmas is coming up, so you want us to get the tedious cleaning out of the way, right? That won't be a problem. Cleaning is our strong suit. It wasn't their strong suit as much as it was Sojiro's. Then, Aoko, will you be at the stove preparing the communion wafers? Mr. Suzuki, you will be outside. I will need your help cleaning the areas I can't reach. One question. Ritsuka isn't in the kitchen, is she? You can't make me go in there if she's there. Don't worry, Ritsuka's not here right now. There's no need to hold back on her account. With a dismissive wave, Aoko headed towards the door, to the back of the worship hall. As she had indicated, she was quite accustomed to this church. This way, please, Mr. Suzuki. We will start with the storeroom. I'd like to ask you to carry the cleaning supplies. The work entrusted to Sojiro did not require any particular skill. It was window cleaning at its most standard.
I thought I had pressed down apparently. How did I miss?
I don't know.
I don't even know. I thought I pressed the button. I'm sorry.
I thought I pressed the button.
I
I did not. Anyways. Should I clean all the windows?
You should clean all the windows and the walls.
Yes. Start with a wet rag, then wipe with a dry rag, then use the cleaning spray. Is the ladder tall enough?
It looks like it might be a little short.
Then just clean what you can reach. Thank you very much. After the brief exchange, the sister returned to the church. Sojiro began to wonder if it was out of distrust in him that she was being so curt. He understood that it was too soon to glean an answer from their first meeting, but then again, such answers always eluded Sojiro. Left alone, but no less encouraged, Sojiro began cleaning the windows. The day's weather was a disappointment once again. It was not gone so far as to rain, but was too overcast to enjoy the sun. He leaned against the tall ladder and beginning with a window about 5 yards from the ground, quietly cleaned. Sojiro was never the kind of person to mind physical labor. In fact, if there had been a blue sky, this might have been a perfect day off to him. By the time he finished his third or fourth window, he felt very relaxed and began to whistle. He's being cute. Ah.
I can't whistle, so I can't do that. So
I can't whistle softly is the thing.
fair enough.
It's picking me up whistling.
That's the best I can do.
I can whistle, I just don't know if my mic picks it up.
It's fine.
Though 15 feet was an intimidating height, it provided for a wonderful view at the same time. Turning towards the town gave Sojiro a clear view of the tree-topping hill that had previously caught his eye.
Huh. So there really is a house in the woods.
The hill in the woods just outside of town. From here, the forest overlooking the sleeping city looked like a foreign castle. Well, well, do we have a burglar?
Hmm?
Just then, lost in his thought while wiping windows, Sojiro was pulled out of his trance by someone pacing below him.
All alone?
He looked down and saw a girl, her unkempt clothes otherwise contrasting with her kind visage. You look a little too loosey-goosey to be a thief. Wait, I know. Maybe you're the type that jumps out of people's fireplaces and gives them toys that they don't need. Like that one saint.
Like St. Nicholas.
Sojiro Claus.
Sojiro Claus. Saint Sonoji.
Saint Sonoji. I'm stretching.
One, two,
Okay.
three.
Christ.
He is, yes.
Oh, but I just can't stand his beard. You know, all that guy is doing is breaking and entering, right? She looked to be in her late 20s. Despite the cold, she's not wearing a coat. She had no purse either, which was rather strange as a woman and her purse were never far apart. Not that Sojiro knew this truth quite yet. Based on the fact that none of this seemed to apply to her, one could have easily surmised that she herself was a little loosey-goosey. A few cards short of a full deck, one might also say.
Damn.
Oh, I got it! Are you that part-timer from Misaki High? Wow, high schoolers these days really are something! You put the pros to shame! The girl looked up in admiration to Sojiro as he stood atop his ladder. Go on, let me help! Is there another ladder? And rags? And since we're doing this anyway, why don't we just use the hose? You know, spray water all over the place, yelling, having a good time. We might get in trouble, but a little fun never hurt anybody, right?
Right.
Right, it's fine. The girl let out a hearty laugh. Her smile glowed like a cactus that had sprouted legs and began to run about. What? Insomuch as a running cactus could only cause trouble. As Sojiro anticipated, the girl began to clean without waiting for his approval. So, I was walking by the church and I saw a figure stuck to the window. A daylight burglary seemed pretty bold, I thought, but my curiosity got the best of me. Imagine my surprise when I saw such a cute boy working as diligently as a window wiping expert. You can't blame a girl for wanting to help out after seeing that, can you? Wiping the window next to Sojiro, the girl continued to cheerfully chatter. Although this was all kinds of suspicious, Sojiro politely followed her lead, nodding and agreeing as she spoke. Perhaps it was an instinctive camaraderie. He sensed this girl was just like him, always getting the short end of the stick when it came to mental work. Or menial work. Mental work probably too, but...
So, I from the church?
Me? No, I was just passing by. More importantly, why are you acting like we've never met before? Don't you remember all those times we met in the shopping mall?
No? When did that happen?
All the time, silly, you work at that restaurant. Oh, right? I was there several times just this week. I'm, oh, right. I'm Hanazawa. What's your name?
She's either forgetful or suspicious. Killer.
No, she's fine. She's fine. She's just ditzy. She just has no brain cells. Not even one. She just doesn't have any. Hanazawa took a quick glance at the flower bed below in the middle of her introduction, then gave him a friendly laugh. Sojiro's self-introduction, however, was his usual brand of awkward. Sojiro, huh? Your name's cute, in an old-fashioned kind of way. The 2 in your name means 10, right? Names with numbers in them are so Japanese, don't you think? Do you know the priest and the sisters here? Eri and Yuika? Their names sound so foreign.
No, Eri. But Yuika was was the woman with the pretty dark hair, right?
Oh, so you haven't met the priest yet? And the church is famous for its handsome priest and beautiful sisters, you know? Oh, that's right, you just moved here. You're living on your own, right? Imagine meeting a woman who knows more about you than you think she does, than you know about them. That sounds parasocial. Anyways. Parasocial.
Parasocial. Parasocial. You need to log off.
Time to log off.
Yeah. You're really sharp, Miss Hanazawa. You seem to be pretty good at guessing things about me.
No,
I
you
am
told
using
me.
my headphones again because they are charged. No longer have those stupid earbuds.
It's called deductive reasoning, silly. This town doesn't have much to do for fun. Certainly not enough that a kid like you would need to work this much. Normally, you just need one job to cover spending money. You don't seem like the materialistic type either. Which leaves living expenses as the only wholesome reason for working this hard, right?
Ooh, getting really hot.
Me too, honestly.
What?
My room is very warm, but that's because I turned off the fan so that way my recording wouldn't go stupid.
Fair enough.
And again, it isn't very wholesome for a student to be paying for his own room, board, and tuition.
Seriously. Don't they say he who does not work doesn't eat?
Wow, Sojiro, you're pretty mature for your age. When I was a student, I was completely absorbed in work too, so I understand how difficult things must be for you.
Oh. You live by yourself as well, Miss Anazawa?
Yeah, I studied abroad over my parents' objections. I went to the same school as a friend and we roomed together to save money. But food wasn't free, as you know. That said, I'm the kind of person who doesn't mind a bit of elbow grease. Looking back on it now, my time at school and work were a great memory. Sojiro nodded agreeably. Dignified or not, he could barely hold back the sense of solidarity that was welling up inside of him. Well, since this might be fate, I'll probably be
This isn't fate, this is Witch on the Holy Night.
I read that as Ufotable. Oh my god.
And I'll probably be seeing more of you at Ufotable, no, at Yutatsu from here on out. Come see me if you need someone to talk to. I can't promise that I'll be much help, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best impression of sounding bored.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe you can help me out right now. What do they actually do around here?
As Sojiro said here, he pointed at the church.
Right, he wouldn't know about religion.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Even Hanazawa's was taken aback by his question. Unaware of Sojiro's provincial background, combined with her quick-witted nature, Hanazawa seemingly mistook his question for some kind of sophisticated wit.
Good question. I guess people treat it as a spiritual sanctuary? Is that the right word for it? No, maybe not sanctuary, more like a shield? Or a place that plugs leaks in your mind? It's basically a way for people to avoid getting better. Oh, and then give out free bread and wine.
I guess so. I suppose.
I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this.
No, she's right.
Damn.
Oh, for free?
Sure, I mean, I've heard rich people just donate a bunch of money anyway. Oh yeah, one more thing, and this is the most important wrinkle. Their income isn't taxed. Saving souls is tough work, and it's no risk high reward. Saving souls is tough work, but it's no risk high reward if you get a solid business plan.
That's so. I don't really follow, but are you saying that it's a good place to come when you're in trouble?
I wouldn't recommend that. I think it would be better to visit once a month or so, just for a little peace of mind.
The rags squeaked as the two carefree souls continued to wipe down the windows. Whistling as they went, they shined up one window, then another, then another.
Yeah. Question. What are those woods way over there?
Death.
Woods? What woods? Don't you mean the woods on the mountain?
Well, but that's really more of a hill than a mountain.
As someone raised in the countryside, Sojiro's pride would not allow for a mound of dirt to be called a mountain.
Damn.
He's got pride. You think so? Any incline that takes energy to climb is a mountain in my book. If you say so. It was as if a shadow fell over her till now sunny disposition. She was undoubtedly a beautiful woman with very lovely features. Why are we bringing this up?
I mean, fair, but
Oh, okay.
it's fine.
But as Sojiro looked at her in that moment, her smile melted away, and he saw how disturbed she was at his comment. And when it comes down to it...
It's definitely a hill. Oh, and what about that thing that looks like a chimney?
Sojiro was not one to closely watch people's reactions and fuss over his speech. It looks like a chimney because it is a chimney. That forest is all private property, and a huge mansion sits right in the middle of it. None of the locals really know anything about it because they're not allowed in there. People call it the Kuwanji Haunted House. The locals are all spooked by it, so it's probably best you keep your distance. For a tiny wooded area, there have been all kinds of freaky stories about that place. Weird accidents, wild dog sightings, you name it.
Dogs? You get wild dogs here in the city too?
Lots of them! There are even some in the empty lots behind the church. The priest here is a bit eccentric, and one time he gave them some bread, and the pups made the area part of their patrol route. Anyway, don't go up there. You know what they say about idiots in high places? Something about an unspoken rule around here to stay out. For one thing, it's private property. If you trespass, someone's gonna call the cops, and then you're going to spend the rest of your day getting grilled at the station. That doesn't sound like much fun, does it?
Maybe.
Sojiro nodded along to her story as he stared at the far off chimney from his vantage point on the ladder. A teeny tiny part of him was curious about that hill because it reminded him of the woods where he grew up. But after reminding himself that it was none of his business, he returned to the window washing. Thanks to Hanazawa lending a hand, they were able to finish the job without a hitch. Between the two of them, they had accomplished a simple but very time-consuming task. Nice work! I hardly recognize these windows considering how filthy they were. Why don't we head to a cafe somewhere to get something to drink? I'll treat you as a reward for all your...
Miss Tanazawa, you're in the middle of saying something.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered some of the urgent business I need to attend to. Catch you later. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. By the time Sojiro, who had started putting away the ladder, turned around, he was only able to catch a glimpse of the girl's figure dashing towards the street at lightning speed. It was just before 3 o'clock. More than 3 hours had passed since Hanazawa offered to help. Sojiro watched the girl with many strange faces. What? Oh, no. Okay, I understand that sentence now. Sojiro watched the girl with many strange faces disappear. For someone who seemed to have been on an aimless walk, Hanazawa had spent a good deal of time with him. Maybe helping Sojiro out reminded her of something she needed to do. Suzuki, are you out there? The student council president popped her head out from the corner of the church. No, don't mind me. You do your thing. The sight of Sojiro putting away a ladder taller than himself seemed to have provoked an emotional response in Aoko. Then, in an instant, she rolled up her sleeves and began to approach him.
Yeah?
This surprised him more than Aoko's sudden appearance. Ignoring Sojiro's bewilderment, Aoko promptly began issuing orders. Put the ladder on its side. I'll hold the bottom. You take the top. She did all of this so matter-of-factly that Sojiro began lowering the ladder before he even had a chance to insist that he could do it by himself. With work finished and the sisters' thank you gifts in hand, the two put the church behind them. Since Aoko apparently had something to do around the station, they decided they would walk together until they got there. You're a really hard worker. Beneath the orange-tinged sky, Aoko spoke more, as though she was expressing her thoughts out loud than striking up a conversation.
Really? Coming from you, Aozaki, that's real nice to hear.
Sojiro gave her an earnest smile. But then again, he had been beaming ever since he received his pay, so the source of his joy was not so clear. Not so fast. You've still got a ways to go, Buster. So don't get too carried away. You're only just breaking even, if that.
You're not gonna get on my back about school, are you? That'll really spoil my mood.
Sojiro hung his head dejectedly. Even if his job had been going well, school was still a bust. Exams were one thing, but even classwork was something he had found himself falling behind in.
Why do you hate people with bad grades, Aozaki?
Well, dealing with lame brains is certainly tiring. That's beside the point in your case. And don't let this get to your head. We're not friends, okay? It's not like I like you or anything. It's the teacher's job to figure out how to help students overcome handicaps, and it's your job to follow through on that help. Having a job is fine with me, but make sure you study properly when you get home.
You can count on me. Everyone at the school is good people.
Fine, if you say so. Wait, did you just say everyone is good people? Alco cocked her head to one side, unsure how this exchange had resulted in this response. She decided to interpret it as Sojiro simply expressing his gratitude to in his own peculiar way. Oh, one more thing. I need to know what other kinds of jobs you're working, in case it comes up.
If you ask me where, I work in a lot of places in the shopping district. Fish shop, flower shop, and so on. Oh, but yesterday I went over to the next town. I worked a shift at the amusement park.
Since the only school-authorized locations were in the Misaki shopping district, his response was much as she expected. That is, except for the decidedly unexpected last part. When you say amusement park, you don't mean the one in Yashirogi, do you?
That's the one. I had disassembled and moved unused signs and curios and stuff. It was exhausting.
That's so. I can imagine it took a lot out of you. This left Alco rather impressed. Transporting unused amusement park machinery was not a job that students did willingly in their free time. I'm a bit jealous. I've never even been to Kitsyland, even though it's close to here. Alco looked up in the direction of the neighboring town. Oh, you can see the...
Yeah, you can see the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. He jumps off that.
He does.
It was either that or it was a roller coaster. I can't remember.
No, yeah, I think it was the roller coaster.
Okay. But they go there.
Yes.
Can you imagine the fact that her first time going to Kitsyland is to try and murder a man? What a story to tell the kids. From here, you could just barely make out the Ferris wheel. The round steel frame of the wheel, illuminated by the sunset as it was reminiscent of an old gravestone.
That's a shame. Is it because you're short on cash?
It's because it's closed. Alco had to stifle her laugh. She knew it would be rude to Sojiro to burst out laughing, but the remark tickled her funny bone. It's not like that. It's simple, really. Even back when it first opened, it was always packed with people, and I just never had time to go. If it were a problem that could be solved with money, I would go right away. Alco showed Sojiro the envelope that contained the pay from the church. There was nothing sinister about her remark and gesture, but the fact that she did not jump at the chance to go made Sojiro sad.
Then, why don't we go sometime?
I mean,
Thanks.
nothing bad will happen.
But no can do. You probably didn't catch on because you are who you are, but that place went out of business. I think it's been about 2 years since the park closed down.
What?
It was no wonder there were no customers all the time he was there. Exasperated as she was, Sojiro, the student council president seemed to be enjoying herself. At this point, she would be yelling things at Sojiro like, "I can't believe you didn't know that!" But this evening, This one and only evening, she found it charming. They parted ways, and Sojiro returned home to his apartment, immersed himself in his studies, and before he knew it, it was time to go to work. The major cultural difference, though certainly not the only point of difference between city and country, was the use of time. It didn't matter what part of the city he was in, time flowed far too quickly here. Failing to squeeze even a drop of knowledge from his textbook, oh my god, really? He put him away from the day before heading into town. The night grew deeper as today turned into tomorrow. This man doesn't sleep. Sojiro reversed his collar to protect his neck from the bitter cold and began to make his way back home. Not a soul to be seen. No dogs scrounging for food, no late-night shoppers. Why would there be? The solitary convenience stores in the area closed at 11 o'clock. He mustered what little energy he had to take in an especially deep breath. Man-made landmarks lined the deserted street. Garish blue fluorescent light, brighter than the stars above, illuminated the darkness. An unconscious sense of anxiety stirred within him.
Get yourself together. It's normal for the night to be this scary.
A chill crept up his spine as he attempted to mask his weakness with words.
Stay out of the dark. Oh, wait. Stay out of the dark. Stay away from deserted places.
Whether it was for some deeper reason or perhaps the fact that he looked so helpless. Everybody he had met in his life seemed to warn him about those words. Or with those words.
Knowing that ever help anyone?
What did that even mean? Stay out of the dark. Nowhere in the city was without light. Everywhere, from the bustling train station to the remote residential areas, was illuminated by artificial light. Not least the main roads. Scary was scary, but this kind of fear was a different sort than what he'd felt in the mountains. The most likely source of his fear was the fact that this place was governed by starkly different rules. The way in which the city meted out justice was terribly imbalanced. And to the provincial Sojiro, his lack of familiarity with the laws of the land terrified him far more than the dark. In the mountains, retribution came swiftly to those who broke the rules. Take a game trail, for example. Those who unwittingly trespassed on the animal kingdom's domain would, as a matter of course, be savaged by the native wildlife. Accordingly, in Sojiro's mind, an offender paid the price for one's mistake immediately. It was not a matter of who punished whom. It was simply that The one who broke the rules would meet instant, tangible retribution. He felt that, in this regard, the law of the city were far too ambiguous. One could meet their demise without even knowing whether one was in the right or wrong.
Though, I guess it's probably not that different when it comes down to it.
To put it simply, retribution was delayed. To take the analogy a step further, back home in his village, no one individual had been given the responsibility of maintaining order. In the city, however, someone was put in charge of punishing lawbreakers on behalf of the kindred citizens who lived there. Of kind-hearted citizens. While crime and punishment in the mountains were synonymous, in the city the two were separate. And an unrelated person brought judgment after the crime had been committed. Entering places that must not be entered. Seeing things that must not be seen. Breaking a law had consequences. Someone would come to exact justice for the law that was broken. The result of all this was that the safest way to survive the city was not to stick your nose in the affairs of others. When the people who cared about Sojiro told him to stay away, they probably meant, if you don't, nobody will be able to help you.
Oh, crap. I almost took another shortcut.
No matter how much of a nuisance these obstacles were, one could not just climb over a neighbor's fence, even when one's apartment was just the other side. If the people inside happened to be awake and called the police, nobody would lift a hand to help him. With his misguided view of the city, Sojiro once again ended his day in peace. Unable to fall asleep right away, he gazed out his window upon the night sky from the floor of his apartment. The cityscape had caused him to tremble in fear when he first moved here. The convenience of solving almost any problem with the flip of a switch. The novelty of living a wall away from a complete stranger. It all disappeared into the night sky when he looked up.
Is this really the same sky?
Unconsciously, he recalled his own words.
What dim stars. What a cramped sky.
Here there were no starry nights. Could he ever survive here? The same misgivings since his first night continued to haunt him. His eyelids fell shut. Although he was fraught with worry, Sojiro's body felt the fatigue from his work and studies, and thus he fell fast asleep. And that's where we'll stop. That was chapter 1.5. How exciting.
Very exciting. How much? Let's see. What else we got?
Martha?
Martha! Martha!
Why are you saying that name?
Did you say that name?
We got Martha, Whiteboard.
I thought that said Whitebeard.
I don't know. I just like whiteboard.
The One Piece.
Just a
The
whiteboard.
something case. And then the honey adventure.
But it is 2 a.m.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I bet you the one the farthest one before what happened today. I bet you that's the Penguin, Alice.
Why is it not there? Why is there a book missing though?
No, I don't think there's a book missing. I think that's just how it is.
That is weird. That bugs me.
I know, it bugs me too. Don't worry about it. It's
Just
anyways, everyone say goodbye.
hello. I spite. your
Okay. Damn. All right. Well, Keith,
Later, gamers.
say your thing.
I'm playing with a fidget spinner, by the way.
All right. Well, everyone have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'm gonna go buzz off now.